Hey guys, this is PJ with the High Mountain Homestead, and I'm doing something I have never been able to do before on this channel. Bring my wife into a video. Both of our small kids are napping at the same time in the middle of the day. So how crazy is that? This is a chicken tractor that she built, and I want to bring her on and ask her some questions about it. I want to talk with you guys today about how you can do chicken tractors in your front yard. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. The High Mountain Homestead, we're all about talking about the best ideas and tips for better soil, better plants, better animals, and a chicken tractor does all three of those. So I'm really excited to talk with my wife and talk to you about that. So stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Here with my lovely wife, Natalie. You say hi.
Hi folks.
This is her tractor, so I'm excited to have her talk about it a little bit today. Natalie builds everything here, so if it's something that's getting built, it's usually, if it's well built, it's on her. I've built a few projects that aren't good, so I'm actually going to step behind the camera and talk with Natalie. Okay, Natalie, so the first thing about this chicken tractor, it's made of PVC and not wood. Why'd you go that route?
So if you've researched chicken tractors at all, like I did a ton, a lot of them that are really good looking are made of wood. But any kind of wood you use, it seemed from what I could research, they were all really heavy and hard to move. You kind of pick them up and move them, pick them up and move them. And it kind of takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. And so I went with PVC because I'm out here with the kids. I usually have a baby strapped to me. I need something that I can do and do quickly so I can get on and keep doing other things. So I went with PVC. From what I could research, I was planning on buying PVC, the Schedule 40 kind, because it's thicker duty, it's a little bit heavier, so that's good, I guess. But when I got to the store, it just was a little bit more than I wanted to pay. I noticed right next to the Schedule 40 PVC is cheaper stuff, about half the price. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's probably at your hardware store. But it's like, it's half the inside diameter, so that's why it's cheaper, but it also makes it lighter. So this whole thing is incredibly light, and I came out here and I moved it this morning with the baby, and you just kind of
like Harvey was just strapped to you?
Yeah,
you were just wearing him?
I just had Harvey strapped to me this morning, and what I did is I took the food out and the water out, and then I just dragged it that way. That's the way that I went this morning. But
cool.
But you can see it doesn't take me any effort at all. There's no dew on the grass right now because it's the middle of the day. So it's not like it's sliding on slippery grass.
Yeah, it looks great.
But even on super dry grass, it's the easiest thing in the world to move. It's a little bit, you'll notice it's a little bit more flexible. Just because it's not as thick.
What inch pipe is this? Or diameter pipe? Is it 1.5?
I think this is just 1-inch pipe.
Oh, really?
And I was just kind of weighing out the cost, thinking, you know, I might as well go for the cheapest thing. My plan was to go for 2-inch pipe, and this is just 1 inch.
Okay, so how'd you mount it here on
okay,
these?
so these, my plan was to just do big washers with screws inside. Once I got the huge washers, the screws are too small.
So we got like a little washer that covers the whole of the big washer?
So we found small washers just like around our house.
Nice.
And so we use those. But there's other washers called, I think they're called fender washers. So you can use those.
And then how'd you link the fence up together right here? Those are J-clips?
These are J-clips.
They're just left over from the rabbit cage you're building, right?
Yeah. So this is 18-inch chicken wire.
Which is different from the sides. The sides are 2 feet, right?
The sides are 2-foot chicken wire, and we just kind of made the pipe specific to the height of the chicken wire.
Yeah.
And then on the top we had some extra 18-inch chicken wire laying around, so we overlaid them. We just had to do it 3 times.
Yeah, it worked out almost perfectly.
And
the dimension.
Extra J-clips lying around because I'm making rabbit cages. So I just clipped that together, and that way no raccoons or anything could get in at night.
Okay, so you also made the tin roof movable. How do you say, openable?
Yeah. So it can open like this.
Amazing.
I got 2 hinges, just like really cheap stuff at the hardware store. And we just had a scrap piece of wood, and
wow,
that was just a little bit bigger than this PVC.
We missed that board like every time, which I was the one doing that, so my bad. I'll fix that later with all those screws.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It still works. So we drilled this piece of wood, connected it to the PVC so it's sticking there, and we put a nut underneath so it's staying there. We have these 2 hinges. They're super cheap at Lowe's. I'm going to total up all the price. I think the whole thing was under 50 bucks, but it might even be cheaper than that. So I'll total everything up.
What are the dimensions of this?
This is 8.
It's like 8 by 4, right?
By 4. We wanted it to be 8 by 5 just when I was planning it out. But when I went to the store, I saw that this tin piece at Lowe's was 2 feet by 8 feet. So if I cut it in half, that gives me 4 feet by 4 feet. And you know, maybe if you have more options than that, then your options are more. But this is, you know, I was at Lowe's with the kids grabbing what I could grab, and we just made it fit into our car.
Nice.
So we just cut it in half, and I looked that up online. It's super easy. Thought it would be hard to cut metal, not super hard.
How many chickens? So you've got 4 chickens in here right now, and you guys can see one of them is bigger than the other one. I'll ask why in a second, because that's kind of a funny story. But why, or how many chickens will this hold, or do you want it to hold when it's like fully operational? We're doing our meat chickens in here.
So this is 4 feet by 8 feet, which is 32 square feet. And I think technically for a free, or not free range, but a chicken that's on fresh grass every day, they only need 1 square foot, which seems a little scant to me. So if I was being generous, I'd give them 2 square feet, which would land me at 16 chickens.
Cool.
In here. So that's what I'd like to do in here eventually when we're doing meat chickens. I'm moving this once a day, and I hear that when your chickens get bigger, you move them twice a day.
Yeah.
It's so easy to move that it's not a big deal.
So I know these 3 chickens, man, they go right where we don't want them. Those 3 chickens, we raised a few of them for my father-in-law, Natalie's dad, and he took the ones that he wanted, and he left us with these 3 little pullets? I don't know. Young hens. Then there's that big one.
Yeah, so the young ones, these guys are about 4 weeks old. The bigger one is 8 weeks old. So the bigger chicken walking around was given to us this morning by our neighbor. He had that chicken, and he only hatched like 3 and threw them in immediately with his larger, he didn't have space to brood just 3 small ones and give them a space of their own. So he threw them into his big coop with his, I think he's got like 40 chickens. And those 40 chickens killed those 2 small chicks and almost killed this one. You can see its wing is super beat up. And I can tell, like, you can see its wattle is not super red, and its feet are kind of pale, which kind of, to me, that means it didn't have access to a lot of food, because it's definitely the lowest on the pecking order and got really beat up. Once it turns around, you'll be able to see its wing on the other side. It's like almost all the way gone. So we put them in here with these guys because these guys are smaller. They had a rough first 3 minutes, I'll say. And it's we put them in together when it was the morning time, just because that's when we could all do it. And their first 3 minutes were a little rough, and since then they've been fine. They kind of stayed away from each other for the few hours after that. But this is just the end of the first day, and they're cool with each other. It seems like nobody's fighting anymore. They stopped fighting after the first couple minutes, and they're all doing the chicken thing. And I think once we give them a first nighttime together, they'll really chill out by tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll have to cozy up to to get by.
To stay warm at night. But yeah, so we'll see if we can heal this chicken up and give it a good, happy life. We'll see.
So what would you do differently next time? Or what is still not done?
So if you look in here, what I'd like to still do is when you open this up, I'd like to put it like a little hook right here and a little hook here and drape a maybe a 4-inch pipe or a piece of a rain gutter or something and put the feed in that.
Oh.
So it's hanging off of the ground so that it will move with the tractor.
Nice.
I've seen a couple people do that and it seems like a good idea, but since we were rushed to get the chickens out of the brooder, we're just doing this temporarily, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It's only a couple chickens. But that's what I'll keep doing.
What about water?
And for water, I'd like to get either those nipple waters or those little cup waters, little PVC length, hook it on the back or maybe the front, and just have a bucket of water. I just fill up the bucket when it's empty. So, but for now we're still just using these little brooder waters, which is fine for now. You know, we just wanted to get them out. So there you go.
Alrighty, thank you, honey, for being on this episode. She had to jet and take off for something, and I forgot to do a sign-off with this, so now I'm doing the sign-off solo. But thank you, Natalie, for being on the video and for building this awesome tractor. If you guys have chickens or have thought of chickens and have been like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, I just want to add that meat birds is a perfectly viable option to do on your front yard. And a lot of people are like, oh, what about like a crowing rooster? You're usually eating your chickens before they even start crowing. So a lot of your neighbors won't even notice that you have chickens. They'll just notice this weird box with some moving things in it. So this is a great option for us. I think we want to get 2 for our front yard. We have a bigger than most front yard, which is great because we're going to put it to use. Because if there's one thing I hate, it is grass for grass's sake. Grass that's not doing anything kind of sucks. But I don't want to get into a rant about that. We're using our grass, yay. But thanks guys for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, we post videos at least once a week. So stop by. Hopefully we can get Natalie on a few more videos because she builds some really cool stuff. She just finished a brooder that I think is out of this world, super unique. And then she built a whole chicken coop. And I think all we spent money on was like screws and like $20 worth of chicken wire. And she built the whole coop just from stuff we had lying around. So we'll do a video on that later. Until next time, I'm PJ with the High Mountain Homestead. I'll see you on the next video.